What up? It's your man's Aaron Sands, and welcome to King Talk Season 4. Let's get it.
What's up, world? This is the Chief Mally Mal, long live the Chief, and you're tuned in to King Talk with Mr. Aaron Sands. Don't go nowhere, baby.
King Talk, yeah, that's me. What up, it's your man's Aaron Sands, and we are back again with another one. You already know what it is. Welcome to King Talk. Hope everybody's been doing well. I know it's been a minute since the last one, but we are back. I needed to take some time because I was getting a lot of news at the same weekends and everything like that, and I had to find a way to put it together. But no worries, we are back at it with a jam-packed episode, and there's a lot to talk about. Holy, there's a lot to talk about, but we're gonna get right into it. But first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that been checking this podcast out. Liking, sharing, and subscribing. We hit number 1 on Good Pods yet again. You know how we do. We always try to get to a certain point where it's like top tier shit with thought provoking content. And I definitely want to thank y'all for continuing to keep that trend going. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a big deal. I always say, I'm gonna keep saying this until it's done. If there was 10 people listening to my shit, I won. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a lot of podcasts, you get a lot of people that start podcasts, and basically what happened is you have people that do it and they don't get any viewers and they just give up. And then you got people that get a little bit of viewers, but then they just keep going. And then you got your top tier guys, you know what I'm saying? Or your mid top tier guys. I feel like I'm in an area where I got a few listeners and everything. I can get everything buzzing, but it's coming along, and I'm definitely grateful for that. Slow motion is better than no motion. So, you gotta be able to make those moves, and that's what we're gonna continue to do here on King Talk. So, yeah, I want to thank y'all for that, and let's get right into it. So, you see the title, right? And you see the artwork. We gonna talk about supervillains, right? Now, you're probably asking yourself, yo, why are we talking about supervillains now? Are you talking about this because Spider-Man 2 dropped on P5? And I'm like, no, not really. You know what I'm saying? Not really, because even though that game dropped and I heard it was fire, I'm definitely gonna cop when I get a chance. But yeah, man, it's basically what I'm talking about when it comes down to supervillains, right? And with people, and you're gonna find this out. You're gonna find this to be a thing, you know what I'm saying? But before we get into it, right? Let's get into the meaning of supervillain, right? And it's basically, a fictional villain with superhuman powers, right? Now, in my day, right? I still get into comics. I love comics. It's definitely, my go-to, right? Some of my favorite supervillains that was out during the time was Joker, Magneto, Galactus, Thanos, recently Kang the Conqueror, especially with the whole Loki situation. You got to check that out if you didn't get a chance. One of my personal favorites, right, was Doctor Doom, right? And he reminded me, right? He's one of my favorites because, he reminds me of Iron Man. If Iron Man said yo, fuck this shit, I'm about me through and through. You know what I'm saying? And with him, it's with Dr. Doom, you could get into anti-hero territory in some points. But he's sure of what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's so much sure, it's damn near arrogant. And me growing up, I was kind of called arrogant or cocky because of my demeanor and how I handled things. You know what I'm saying? So I could relate because it wasn't my cockiness it wasn't much of cockiness, but it was more confidence. Some people was in fear of my confidence, so they had no choice but to call it cockiness because that's what suited them. That's what made them comfortable, with my abilities, right? So you see the villains I named: Magneto, Doctor Doom, Lex Luthor, the Kingpin. We can also get into Jada being a supervillain, if you will, because the shit that she's been doing for the past week has been nothing short of supervillain feats. You know what I'm saying? Of a fucking damn near terrorist. You know what I'm saying? As you've probably seen, if you haven't seen, you've definitely been under a rock for a minute. But if you haven't, let me explain. So Jada Pinkett Smith got a new book out, right? I think it was called Worthy. Okay. Worthy, right? And apparently, she's going on this tour. She's going on Today's Show. She's going on podcasts, spilling the whole Goya section, spilling the whole beans and rice about, her relationship with Will, her relationship with quote unquote relationship with Pac. If you ask her, it was a relationship. Can't ask Pac shit. He ghosts. You know what I'm saying? You got Jada out here looking like Angela out here chasing ghosts. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot. And in the midst of the whole liquidation sale on Jada and Will's private business, everybody was sitting there asking, like, yo, I know Will Smith gotta say something about this, because there's no way you could just really sit here idly by and not say anything, have no response to any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot going on here. Why aren't you speaking out, sir? You're the head of the household. You need to be getting out in front of this and being like, yo, yeah, nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stop this. The same energy you had, Will, to pull up on Chris Rock at the Oscars and smack the living shit out of him, right? Should have been the same energy you had going into handling this situation. But surprise, surprise, you gotta understand, Jada ain't Chris. You can't just smack the shit out of her and tell her, like, keep our business out your fucking mouth. You can't do that. What he does, he goes to Baltimore, which is not that far off from Philly. So I can understand he probably was in the area, he's from West Philly, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to West Philly. So he's out in Baltimore, doing press, doing meetups with her and everything, right? And instead of stepping out, talking about, like, listen, even though he said was in the book, I don't condone it. I don't, I don't stand on that. That's not me. That's not us now, No, he doesn't do any of that shit. He's like, this woman is my best friend. This woman is the light of my life and I love her. Basically bitching out. You know what I'm saying? And hey, look, a lot of y'all might have thought that I was just going to spend 30 minutes roasting Will Smith on this episode and dipping out. It's not what I'm going to do. I've done that on Premiere Boys. Not going to do that here, right? This is King Talk. It's a little different. Not going to do that here. If he wants to stay with a supervillain like Jada, because you would have to be on some demon type timing. You know what I'm saying? You would have to be on some Lex Luthor type timing to actually be this methodical. You know what I'm saying? And talk about, how Tupac would have proposed, even though Tupac's boys said in prior interviews that he would have never proposed to Jada. Like, they were friends, but they was never on that type of timing. You know what I'm saying? He would have never proposed to her if it came down to it. You know what I'm saying? Or talking about how, he never how she never loved Will at that point. Will asked her to marry her, which I feel like is a big thing because you can't love the person that you're about to marry more than she would love you. You know what I'm saying? And she can't do the same with her and either. It got to be like equal or damn near close to for something like that, something of that magnitude to work. You going up to her asking her, you even ask her, you're like, oh, you gonna be you with me now? You about to be my wife or whatever? And I'm like, all right, cool, that's great. But does she want that? Especially, most of all, does she want that from you, sir? Because from the way I'm sitting, where I'm sitting right here, it don't look like she wanted that. But she was here for it because at the time, you think about it, it's the 90s. Will Smith is still on Fresh Prince or coming off Fresh Prince and going like Independence Day, Bad Boys, other movies. I can't really come up with the other. I'm thinking about like later movies like 2006, 2007. But Independence Day, Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like he was that he was the guy. Like whatever Dwayne The Rock Johnson's doing right now, that's what Will Smith was doing in like the 90s and 2000s, right? He was the guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she ain't gonna turn that shit down. But let's be real. Like, if she had a choice between Pac, August Alsina, and Will Smith, I'm gonna leave this to y'all. In what order do you think she would have married what men? Like, would it have been Pac first, August first, second, Will third, Will first, Pac second, August third, or August first, Will second, Pac, whatever? Put it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think with that, because ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way y'all can tell me, and tell me why too. Let's put it in the comments and tell me why. Because from where I'm sitting, ain't no way Will was Jada's first option. He was barely like her third at best. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of supervillain activity there, and if he's willing to partake in that space of the exposure and to still sit there and be by that side, then hey, you can't get mad at that man. I can't get mad at him for wanting to do that, because at the end of the day, you know, niggas got choices, and the choices that they make, you know, that's the ones they gotta be comfortable with. We gotta understand. You gotta be comfortable with the choices you make and lay in that bed. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I ain't got time to fuck around with y'all niggas today. A lot of y'all, men and women, this is not a gender thing or whatever. This is not red pill stance. No. Men and women alike are literally sharing their lives with supervillains. Right? Fellas, you're probably right now either in a relationship or have a baby moms, or even worse, have a wife that are on a similar type of timing Jada's on. You know what I'm saying? Not letting you see your kids because, you know, you didn't give her enough money for the kids or whatever, even though she's not spending it on the kids. Kids got the same juice stained shirts that they go out to everywhere. They're not clean, their hair ain't right or whatever. You feel me? But they out here looking lit and you not giving them enough money. So now you got to sit there and you can't see your kids that weekend because you didn't have enough money. Even though she's leaving those kids at her nana house while she out here getting her back blown out. But yeah, you still got to be on time for child support. If not, you in jail. There's a lot of y'all out here that are living that same existence and don't know your way out. Can't leave it alone. Too scared to take it to court. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, this ain't just with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because just as well as you got Jada and that Cheesecake Factory chick. Yo, let me get into the Cheesecake Factory chick real quick before I get back into supervillains. Yo, I was watching a video, right? And there's this chick, right? I think they were in Atlanta. And I forgot her name, so for the duration of this segment, we just gonna call it a Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory chick. CFC. Cheesecake Factory chick. There we go. All right. So basically, she's on a date with this dude, right? And she's upset. She's not like pissed, but she's like, yo, I'm not getting out this car. She's like, yeah, nah, I'm too good. She stuck her nose up at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, let's be real, right? I'm gonna keep it a buck and shot. Cheesecake Factory is not like Applebee's. You don't get $1, you don't get $1 margaritas at Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying? Nor, however, just because you don't get $1 margaritas at Cheesecake Factory doesn't mean you paying about $89 to $100 for a filet mignon in Cheesecake Factory, right? At least I don't think you are. You shouldn't be, honestly. But yeah. But for the most part, Cheesecake Factory is that mid. It's not mid as in taste because they got some good dishes, but it's the mid-level restaurant that you go to, right? If you're just trying to get to know a person, you don't want to take them to Applebee's, right? You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a Cheesecake Factory in your town, and to be fair, in New York, with all the options we have, it's shocking to know that there's only like maybe one or two, I think maybe 2 Cheesecake Factories in the entire city. And I know of 3 personally, and they're all super far from each other. You feel me? So, to be fair, Cheesecake Factory, it's not like Cheesecake Factory is a thing like how like Chili's is, where there's a Chili's in every borough. Or Applebee's, where there's like 5 Applebee's, or even BBQs for that matter. And to be fair, BBQs is strictly like in New York. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen a BBQs like in Jersey or, anywhere else like that, honestly. But yeah, like when it comes down to that, how can I put it? Cheesecake Factory ain't nothing to just stick your nose at, especially if you're just trying to get to know somebody, for real. But she stuck her nose up at it, right? Dude try to, get her off the car, right? And she didn't want to, she locked the door. She wasn't trying to come out, talking about, oh, look at me. I can't walk up in Cheesecake Factory. It's Cheesecake Factory. And look at me. Now, to be fair, the titties was tittying. I ain't gonna hold you, right? But let's be real, right? I could have took you to Applebee's. Like, nah, dead. I could have took that ass to like TGI Fridays, and I don't even like TGI Fridays like that. But I could have took your ass there. You gonna scarf your face up at Cheesecake Factory, and then come to find out, Shorty was an hour late. Shorty was a whole hour late to the date. Mans was like literally in the car waiting for her to come down for an hour, which, to be fair, is an L on you, sir, because ain't no way you should be waiting an hour for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be waiting an hour for anybody on no date. The most a lady gonna get out of me in terms of waiting, 30 minutes at best. And I gotta be really feeling you, to be fair. I gotta really be like into you to wait 30 minutes. Outside of that, you getting about 15. I give you 15 minutes to pull up. Because it's not like you don't know it's not like you don't know the date. You don't know we're going out. Because I would have hit you up saying I'm on the way, and we would have planned for this like a week or 2 in advance. You know what I'm saying? That's how I work. You know what I'm saying? And 2, like this man here, I usually do reservations for the most part, and it's not at a spot. And to be fair, if I'm trying to get to know you, yeah, maybe at Cheesecake Factory, or maybe another spot where you just might need reservation. You gotta be there at a certain time. You gotta be there. You know what I'm saying? And granted, you talking about, oh, well, I had work. I didn't know work was going to take me so long. I'm like, bro, but listen, you were going to go out on this date, right? If I was anybody else, and to be fair, if you saw the video, the man looked a little short. Shorty looked like she tower over him. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't seem as confident in his conversation or in his tone or in his demeanor. So she could have played those games with him, but let her try to play that game with somebody that was really out here getting to it and actually had that confidence and actually had that height to be like, listen, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not waiting an hour for you. You got 15 minutes or we can reschedule. And if you don't want to reschedule, I will bid you a good day. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You feel me? Like that, there's no, what? An hour? Bro, you so crap, man. You're like, So he shows her the plans, right, that he originally had, which was actually a better restaurant than what the Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "Oh, I see that right there. I like that. I like that right there." Call them. Just ordering him around like a little bitch. And he's like, "No." Which is like, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. You said no. You did that. You know what I'm saying? And he understood right. She asked why. He just simply told her, like, listen, I had a set time for us to get there for this situation. You showed up late. So the next thing was the Cheesecake Factory, And in the second interview that he had with somebody else, I forgot the name of it. I'll probably put it, if you find it before I do, put it in the description. But he spoke about it in a later interview, and he was like, listen, Cheesecake Factory is one of my favorite places to go. This is I have birthdays there. We do meetups there. It's a pretty, it's one of my favorite places. So to see her shit on that, it's kind of wild, especially considering that she probably didn't have, somebody to take her at a place that's, that's not even on the level of a Cheesecake Factory. Well, she probably let a dude take her to take her on for a slice of pizza if he found enough. But I digress. So he told her, like, listen, well, since you were an hour late, and now you scoffing up your nose to my second plan, which was Cheesecake Factory. He's like, listen, we could just go, I can just drop you off and, go about your day. And then she was trying to be compromised and everything like that. But by that point, it's already too late. It was already packed up. It's like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to go home. And that's what it came down to. Now, to be fair, in the interview that I was speaking about before, the interviewer asked dude if he would go on a second date, if he would try again. And this dude, he was like, you know what? Yeah, we be on time and everything like that. Maybe we could try it again. Bro, I'm here to tell you right now. Me personally, I wouldn't take kindly to that level of disrespect. You wasting time that I can't get back. That's an hour that you can get back, sir. Right? And you gonna tell me, and I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, maybe we could do it again. Bitch, no. And I don't mean to call her a bitch because that's not the right thing to do. But no. We're not doing that, bruh. That shit ain't happening. I'm not gonna go out here and then wait another hour for you to figure some stuff out? Nah, bro, I'm good. You go ahead with your friends. Let your friends take you to Mike Stroh's or Roof Chris. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Let them take you to Lavo real quick. All right, don't bring that shit here. Wildin'. But see, this is what I'm talking about. This is that super villain behavior. Now, that's not nearly on the level of Jada. Jada is like the Dr. Doom of the supervillains. I ain't gonna hold you. She's like Frozone right now. She look like Frozone too. I ain't gonna hold you. That's Frozone right there. She's definitely a supervillain. You know what I'm saying? But people go through supervillain-like behavior every day with people. They do it every day. Ladies, a lot of y'all dealing with a lot of blue face ass niggas right now. You know what I'm saying? You decide thinking you the main, you know what I'm saying? While you dealing with this ain't shit nigga that sit here and play P4 all day, drinking Henny, smoking all the weed and shit, not achieving a lick of success. But y'all be out here staying with that super villain ass nigga because he dropped some good D off. Ah, girl, he make me feel good. Bro, nah, bro. Ain't no fucking way. You gonna keep a nigga around like that because he make you feel good, or because money, or because he Jamaican, or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. At a certain point, my girl, you gotta sit here and realize, right, that, dick, money, nationality ain't worth your peace. Fellas, because she thick, or because she light skinned, or look exotic or foreign or whatever, and because she could probably feed you and give you head a little bit, doesn't mean that these people can't be on supervillain, evildoer ass timing, bro. And get this shit. Here's the bad news, right? I always give y'all the bad news first before I give you the good news, right? The bad news is nobody's coming to save you. All right? The Avengers are not going to come to save you. Fantastic Four, not coming to save you. Batman and Robin, yeah, their invitation to the Savior Fest got lost in the mail somewhere. They ain't coming. All right? And while they ain't coming, the Joker still sleeps in your bed. Because those some clown ass niggas y'all dealing with. All right? Scarlet Witch in Doctor Strange movie, Multiverse of Madness, she's still gonna be in your bed, fellas. What are you gonna do? Will. Hey, Will. You got a supervillain in your bed, nigga. You from Philly. We know you ain't gonna do nothing. We know you ain't gonna, you right there with it. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna save yourself. You're willing to be a servant. And you're willing to be a servant because of what you seen in your parents. You seen your dad do your mom's wrong, and you were like, I will never do a woman wrong like that in my life. I'm never gonna do a way that I see my moms get done. And I understand that. Because I would never want to see my moms get done wrong. You know what I'm saying? I would never want to see a woman on my side of my family get done wrong by any nigga. But what I'm not gonna do is go through, like, I'm not gonna stay in a situation despite my own peace of mind. I think that's what people are missing. People are sacrificing their peace of mind just for companionship. And the problem with that is the person that you're dealing with don't have that same mindset as you. Because while you're trying to be a superhero to yourself, the person beside you right now, and I'm not talking about people in good relationships. This ain't about y'all. On this one. I got y'all like a few episodes later. But the person that you're laying with right now is on supervillain timing. So he or she is not going to try to save you, but he or she is going to try to help themselves in spite of you. And that's supposed to be the person you're supposed to ride with. You understand? The only hero that's going to save you in this issue of life is going to be you. You know what I'm saying? You might have thought that I was going to talk about Jada and Will in the series, in this section, but no. This is a little less about Jada, a lot more about y'all niggas. Because what happens is we get so entangled, if you will, in other people's shit that we know nothing about, but where we sorely lack is self-awareness in our own situation. We were quick to talk about Jada and Will, and I've seen this, and I actually seen this in comment sections and conversations and everything like that. We get so enamored in other people's shit. The problem with it is we don't pay attention to our own situation. Because as much as somebody could talk about, Jada, Will should just leave her. He should just leave her. By the way, I could understand why Will don't leave. I really, really could. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. Will and Jada got married in Cali. Right? They got married in Cali. So what happens is in Cali, a lot of y'all don't know or don't realize, Cali is a community property state, right? And they also believe in palimony. So when it comes down to that, right? Will could divorce her, easily, like get her out of here, cancel that hoe. You know what I'm saying? The problem with that is is that you automatically lose half off a rip. You know what I'm saying? Along with everything, along with like other like property and shit like that. You gotta understand it. You know, you see a lot of these celebrities, they get married out in LA or whatever like that, and they're losing like gobs of money. You know what I'm saying? You just saw Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner is they try to get Kevin Costner for child support for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Meryl Streep just got divorced from her husband, and they're older. You could imagine how much money that's going to come out of that. So I can understand why Will won't leave, right? Even though he should. He should just cut his losses and keep it pushing. You feel me? But I can understand why he won't leave. You know, it's cheaper to keep him. You know what I'm saying? But now it's one thing when you're just saying you won't leave, but now it's like you won't leave and you're partaking in, you know, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're enabling the bullshit, because this is bullshit. Let's be real. Any guy out here, any person out here could say like, hey, this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You could tell people to stop talking about it all day long, all night long, right? But as long as your wife, as long as your favorite supervillain is out here pushing this shit to the masses, it's free range. She everybody girl. We just talking about it. I'm just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But we really need, as people, as regular ass niggas, we really need to get these supervillains out our lives. You know what I'm saying? And it starts with you. You got to set those standards within yourself. Like, yo, listen, you know, I can't deal with this anymore. This is you're terrorizing my peace. And at a certain point, you know, are you just going to sit there and be a citizen? There's a difference between being a citizen and being Johnny Blaze, right? Johnny Blaze, he go out, does it. You know what I'm saying? Kills it. Teases the fan. Johnny Storm, sorry. Whatever. I'm thinking about talking about Ghost Rider. But you have these, you know what I'm saying? Either you're going to do something about that, or you're just going to sit there and just, you know, be in it because, oh, she thick, or because I got D waiting for me at home. Not knowing it's community D. Everybody getting it. You feel me? Not knowing that's community box. Everybody clapping it. You know what I'm saying? We need to get out those situations and get around some better people, man. Because if not, you're still going to be where you at. You're still going to be where you are. Your peace ain't going to be the same. And it could only lead to depression or even worse. And nobody wants to deal with that, honestly. So those are my thoughts on the Jada and Will situation. I ain't going to hold you. This is the last time I'm speaking on this shit. Because I ain't going to, like, be honest with you. Every time there's some new stuff going on, that with her especially, every time there's some new shit going on, is with her, whether it's the table talk shit or the book, it's like, damn, how can I get this shit jumping? Oh, I know. Let me explore some family secrets. People love that. You know what I'm saying? Especially because, you know, a lot of people in our community specifically held they held Will and Jada in a high regard, even so much so that J. Cole put them in role models, right? And I could understand him not saying those words anymore in concert because they ain't the role models you thought they were. And that's okay, because you never want to meet your heroes. People thought Busta Rhymes was like a role model to some people. And you see him in person, and he's just a trash ass individual. You know what I'm saying? I learned that, you know, I've seen that personally. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many BET Hall of Fame awards you win. You're still a trash individual from Brooklyn. So it is what it is. I know a lot of people wanted me to touch on Drake's album. I can't I've listened to it. I skipped through like about most of the album. There's like 4 songs maybe at best. There's 2 songs definitely that will make the album, that makes the album for me. There's maybe 2 that I'm like on the fence about still, and the rest I could do away with. At this point, you gotta understand, right? Drake is making music for the kids. You see him on Lil Yachty's pod, and you see him on Bobby Kristall's weird ass pod that we keep going to that she don't care nothing about, but we community goes there because content or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing it for the niggas that listen to Nothing Was the Same or Take Care, which was his best bodies of work, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing it for those listeners. He's doing it for the TikTok crowd. This TikTok music. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta ask yourself, what TikTok music was actually good? You know what I'm saying? There's a few songs, yeah, sure. But, it's basically, TikTok 30-second, stuff, songs that they could use for captions or whatever. It works. Drake been making caption music since Nothing Was the Same. But now you're getting older, and I can understand where Joe Budden's coming from. I mean, he's not fully corny. He does have some fair points here. You're getting older, bro. You're like 30, older than me, like 36, 37. You know what I'm saying? So when you're making music about still clapping like 25, 26-year-olds, all right, cool, that's fun. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But what else you got? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we ran through a lot of Drake's shit. You feel me? We ran through a lot of like what Drake does. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, bet another album came out. I think it was more or less it was anticipated because we haven't heard it, a decent, we had heard Lost and everything. We haven't heard like a Drake album since honestly Nevermind. And we were trying to see if he could like, bounce back from that. But I don't know, man. I don't want to say Drake is falling off, but he got like one more album to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say like, yo, the nigga fell off. You feel me? At least for me anyway, because this shit like this. If it's not the singing, it's that it was where the song it was rich. Let me pull it up. It was on my Spotify. Make sure y'all like the pod so far. I've just been talking shit for like the past 15, 20 minutes. I don't know how long I've been running this shit, but I've been talking a lot of shit for the past 20 minutes. So make sure y'all like the pod while I'm here. Let me pull this up. All right. So one of the songs that had a fire ass beat, but the lyrics like was automatically trash off top. Rich Baby Daddy, right? And the beat was fire. I'm like, okay, we about to get into something here. Let's get to it. You feel me? And then I hear Sexy Red Bum Ass on it. And I'm like, all right, cool, next. You know what I'm saying? I thought Fear Heights is going to be something. And then he's talking about how much he missed Rihanna. All right, next. First person shooter, Slime You Out, 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Which, by the way, the 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 6 p.m. tracks that he be dropping on his albums, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes are the best songs on his album. 8 a.m. in Charlotte is no different. You know what I'm saying? 8 a.m. in Charlotte is no different because that's like the song that I'm like, I'm not really on the fence about. I'm a fan of it. So yeah, basically 8 a.m. in Charlotte, Slime You Out with SZA, and First Person Shooter with J. Cole. And I ain't gonna hold you. The only reason why, the First Person Shooter was like one of the top, you know what I'm saying, a top song on this album for me was mainly because of Cole. You gotta understand. This is J. Cole. You feel me? It's J. Cole. So I'm not gonna not, you know what I'm saying, listen. And on top of that, it's J. Cole and Drake. You feel me? So it's like, I bet. We about to get some fire. That's what I thought when I was listening to it. And J. Cole, he delivered as normal, as he does. That's what he does. Drake, though. Keisha, Rena, Sabrina. Like, bro, no. Next. I'm only there for J. Cole verse. Everything else, I'm like, yo, get it out of here. It's got no place in here. Get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Ken had a better review on this album than I did, and I implore you guys to go check this out. Go check his review out on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, or I think it was on a conversation about music. One of the two. Check out both of them. You know what I'm saying? Check out both of them. Also, final topic I wanted to get into. I'm just going to get into this real quick, and I'm gonna head out. And I know a lot of people want me to talk about it and get my 2 cents about it because they've been asking me. the DJ Envy Caesar Pena scam situation with the homes that they were doing in Jersey. People were apparently he got like 14, 15 different people owning one home. You know what I'm saying? And he began a lot of backlash. Apparently, iHeartRadio got raided by the feds. DJ Envy had to do the Breakfast Club away from the office or whatever like that. He may be going to jail. They got Caesar Pena locked up. You know what I'm saying? Sarah Wallace on Channel 4 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to get help for these victims. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna hold you. You know, you save all your life, right? You got your whole life savings, which is anywhere between $200,000-$500,000. You know, you got your whole life savings on you. You're like, you know what? I want to buy a house, and then that way we could rehab it and everything. We could flip the money back, and you know, I get more money back. You know, and then that's how I'm gonna start. If I start doing these deals, maybe I could build generational wealth. Because honestly, that's what everybody wants. People know this, and then they sell these courses. They sell these scam ass courses to you, to you know, get you to part with your life savings. You know what I'm saying? It's an unfortunate situation for the victims. You know what I'm saying? Because now you gotta start back at one, and you know, that's tough. Especially now you're older and everything like that. You feel like you're about to cash out. Now you can't even do that. So it's tough. It's really unfortunate. And my hopes is that Caesar Pena got locked up. Yeah. Is he going to go to jail? I hope so. Is he he's going to get like convicted? I hope so. It's a shame that he only got one count of wire fraud when he scammed so many people using the same method. Maybe they might add more charges, who knows? But you know, it's unfortunate. DJ Envy might get caught up because they found out that he was on the board in the same company that Caesar was running. So it's more likely he's going to go to jail. Should he get fired? I would say no. Here's why. I agree with Flex when he was talking about this on his bomb-laden rant that he did, I think last Thursday. And he was he mentioned something that was pretty poignant. And I agree with it. Envy shouldn't get fired, right? Because he's gonna have a lot more to worry about than just keeping his job. But I also think the program director for the Breakfast Club and for 105 should be fired. Because really, let's be real. Let's be honest. They brought this known scammer on their show, right? On the Breakfast Club multiple times over the course of 3 to 5 years. Talking about, we can help you flip these houses. We could do this. And let's be real. Nobody would have known who Caesar Pena nobody would know who that nigga was, right? But everybody knows Envy. And everybody knows Caesar because of Envy. That's why I feel like you could make that correlation and where you could, potentially, get that man locked up. So when it comes down to that, it's pretty crazy. I hope, there's some restitution. There probably won't be. I hope there is, because it sucks to see these families, go under because of this. And now they got to claw their way back, to get the money that they once had, and they may never even see it. And that's so damn unfortunate. People, you got to understand, do research on any deal you do. If it's way too good to be true, it probably is, and you shouldn't really involve yourself in that. You shouldn't involve your money into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be mindful. You guys got to be mindful of who you are investing with. Do your research. You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't do your research, you don't, do your due diligence on the people you're dealing with, on the companies that you're dealing with, where you're putting your money at. Yeah, you could potentially, be out $200,000, $500,000. I heard these guys scam people well out of like $50 million. $50 million. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? I did an episode with I think I did an episode with Roddy back in the day where we talk about scams and shit. This is definitely one of them. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely up there. So we just got to be mindful of who you're dealing with, who you're doing business with. If you do that, you're fine. If you're not, you're fucked. Point blank, period. All right? And that is going to do it for King Talk for this week. You know what I'm saying? I know it's been a long time coming, but we are here. We are back. And you know what? I ain't letting up either. I got another one. And this is facts because I already got it in the tank already. I got another episode coming up, and I'm even going to give y'all a topic about it because there's been another pressing topic about it too, and I just got to do a little bit more research and see what's what. But yeah, we talk about Brian McKnight, right? I'm going to leave it there. We talk about Brian McKnight. If you know, you know. We're going to get into that on Friday's episode, and we're going to go from there. But until then, you already know what it is. You can follow me, Aaron Sands, at Aaron Sands Premier. That's on Instagram. King Talk Sands on Good Pods and Twitter. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. Also, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I did this one. If you're in the New York City area, Halloween weekend, you want to turn up, you want to go out and have some fun and get lit, you know what I'm saying? Check out 2 spots that we got cooking up for you. Premier Boys Brand, aka YPG Entertainment, is back with 2 events for Halloween weekend. First off, we got the event at Pink Taco. You already know what it is. Let me pull it up real quick. I got y'all right now. I was getting stuff ready, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so Friday night, Pink Taco. We got the Halloween party over there. We got tickets. Link in the description. Check that out. Also, we back at Taj. You already know what it is. You already know how you give it up when we do Taj, bro. At Taj, we doing the best Halloween party. You already know what it is. Check out the link below on that one as well. Make sure you get these tickets because tickets are flying like fucking hotcakes, son. So yeah, check that shit out. We definitely gonna be up out here, and you know it's gonna be lit. So until Friday, you already know what it is. It's your man's Aaron Sands, and you know we'll catch you on the next one. And we are out of here. Peace.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Aaron Sands, and I know you're enjoying this episode of King Talk right now, but I want to dive in a little bit and talk about the Premier Boys podcast. You got me, Aaron Sands, Ken the Gentleman, the homie Roddy Rod, and long live the Chief Mally Mal, all in the building, talking about the hottest entertainment topics, the hottest news topics, and giving our own take on what's going on out here in these streets. It can get raunchy. It could get crazy. You might even be talking about somebody's mama. Who knows? But every Wednesday at midnight, check us out on Apple, Good Pods. Don't forget to drop that 5-star rating and all wherever else you hear your podcast. Now back to the show, man.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast and 1/4 of the Premier Boy Podcast. And you are now listening to my brother Aaron King Talk Sands show, King Talk with Aaron Sands. Yeah!